trade that happened last night, not last night, a couple of nights ago in the NBA, that really is just a head scratcher on a multitude of levels, is Trae Young. And we had heard reports in the days leading up to Wednesday that he and the Hawks were working on a deal to send him somewhere other than the Atlanta Hawks. And you got this kid, Jalen Johnson, coming up. He looks really talented, and Atlanta's trying to kind of reset things, kind of start anew, rebuild with some of the young talent they got there. So they want to move Trae Young and get what they can. Trae Young, all-star caliber point guard, just feels like a million years ago at this point, but 5 years ago, for what it's worth, did lead the Hawks to the Eastern Conference Finals, where they were in a 2-2 series with Milwaukee before Milwaukee went on to win that series and the NBA title. That's something. I've seen Trae Young play live in Atlanta. Really talented young player. Got a good floater. We know about his assist totals. Led the league in assists on a number of occasions. Hawks have been a consistent playoff team, albeit in the terrible Eastern Conference. He didn't want to go out west. He didn't even want to go to some of the contenders out east. He said, you know where I want to go? I want to go to the Washington Wizards. Think about that. The organization in which Michael Jordan had his 2-year sympathy run. That's where I want to play. An organization that has not won a championship in almost a half century. An organization that goes through coaches like kids go through a candy store. An organization that's bombed draft pick after draft pick, trade after trade. Had prime John Wall, Bradley Beal. Furthest got was a Game 7 of the second round against the Isaiah Thomas Celtics. And had been arguably the worst organization in the NBA over the last few seasons. Over the last probably 5 or 6 seasons. Maybe the allure for Trae is, okay, I want to build this thing from nothing up to hopefully championship contention. This feels like, just from the outside looking in, for Trae Young, it is okay, Jalen Johnson's a really talented young player. He's kind of stealing my spotlight in Atlanta. Hawks want to build around him. This young player coming up, understandably so. Who they building around in Washington? Is it the big center they drafted last year? What are we doing? This is an opportunity for me to come in. I'm an all-star caliber guy. Reports are he may not play a single game this year, which makes sense. You're not going to risk getting out there, getting hurt for a team that has a 0.0000% chance of making the playoffs. So you're playing meaningless basketball over the last 3 months of the season. So I get that. You don't want him to, after all the Achilles injuries we saw last year, you don't want Trae to go down and it jeopardize next season for him and halt any momentum whatsoever the Washington Wizards pray to have going into the next NBA year. This feels like, hey, I can get my points. Washington doesn't really draft that well. Not going to win a lot of games, but it's big market. It's DC. We go on the road to, some of the Western Conference opponents like the Lakers and the Warriors and, some of these teams, Denver. Go on the road and get to entertain the road crowd, get to entertain the home crowd. I'll put butts in seats at the Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. That feels like what Trae Young's priority is at this particular juncture in his career. Because he doesn't play defense at all whatsoever. He might be the worst defensive player in basketball. He's a good assist man. He can score, albeit not terribly efficiently. He's only 6. He's listed 6'2". He looks 6'1". He's slight. That's the reality. So I don't expect much to come out this trade at all. The return Atlanta got was C.J. McCollum and Corey Kispert. Kispert's a solid young player. As for C.J. McCollum, listen, he's an older player. He's a veteran player. He's on an expiring contract. So I don't think Atlanta has the ability to move him at the deadline. I could be wrong on that, but he'll certainly be a free agent, can come in to a team next year, give them 15, 20 points off the bench, can be able to be, a solid scorer. And is a good leadership guy. We know how his impact on the NBA Players Association for years. It's just kind of a meh trade. The shocker for me was that Trae Young requested a trade to the Washington Wizards. That one was like, huh? Atlanta to Washington? Didn't really make sense other than I'll be the guy instantly. I'll be the guy day one. Butts will be in seats at Capital One Arena. And that's about it. No threat, and there's because the Wizards draft horribly. No threat of a young player coming in and stealing my spotlight the way that Jalen Johnson had started to with the Hawks. That's what it feels like right now with the Trae Young situation. The Ja situation is more simplistic. So reports came out today that the Memphis Grizzlies are going to look to move Ja Morant before the February 5th deadline and build their team around Jaren Jackson Jr. And let this be a lesson to not just to all young athletes, but to all young, talented professionals out there. Talented individuals who are coming up and trying to make their mark in the world in their particular industry. Work hard, stay the course, be smart, be mature, make good decisions, and things will, if you're talented, it will probably work. Because if Ja had done all the above, Ja Morant's probably one of the 10 best players in basketball. At worst case, 12. This guy comes in, wins Rookie of the Year for the Memphis Grizzlies. Year 2 gets into the playoffs. Year 3, they're the 2 seed. He's getting a little bit MVP buzz. I think he wins Most Improved Player in 2022. He's out here dropping 40 burgers in the playoffs against the Timberwolves and the Warriors. Gets himself in trouble multiple times the following season. Gets hurt the year after that. Last year, he comes back. The Grizzlies have an unbelievable collapse over the final 2 months of the season to go from being, hey, could they be the 2 seed in the West to, oh, they're playing a playing game, and if they lose, their season's over. If they win, hey, they get to get dusted by Oklahoma City, which they, of course, did. And this year, it's kind of more the same. They're the 9, 10 seed. They'll probably be in the play-in tournament. Maybe they'll shock somebody and get as the 8 seed. It feels like that's going to be like Phoenix or somebody. This is a lesson in not destroying your personal brand. Ja Morant went from the young, athletic, this kid's going to be the next Derrick Rose, dunking on 7-footers' heads, the handle, the little push shot floater that he had. Didn't have a great jumper, but could improve that. There's a lot of guys who come in who weren't natural, jump shooters who improved over time. And by pure selfishness, to himself, to his family and loved ones, to the Memphis Grizzlies organization, he decided that basketball was not first and foremost in his life. His family, loved ones were not first in most importance in his life, to the point where he's probably one of the least among players, one of the least respected guys in the NBA. I mean, I cannot tell you, I'm not a player. I'm not in NBA circles, but I have to imagine that situation that happened in November, I talked about it on this show. The situation in November when the Memphis Grizzlies were playing the Dallas Mavericks, it was Cam Spencer, his teammate, had a big game. Memphis wins over the Mavs. And Ja's out there talking smack to Klay Thompson at the end of the game. And when Cam Spencer is having his moment, he's interviewed by the local television team that covers the Grizzlies. He's getting his moment to shine. Confetti's coming down. I think it was a home game. Confetti's coming down the arena. Everybody's happy about a Grizzlies win. And they asked Cam Spencer about, being a great shooter and whatever. And Ja Morant intrudes in his interview. I'll tell you, bro from Golden State can't shoot, or something along those lines. Just disrespecting a 4-time champion and a guy who was instrumental to one of the greatest dynasties in league history, and a guy who's universally beloved around the league in Klay Thompson. You just out of nowhere just disrespected his entire career. Like, you're a jerk. Like, guys don't like you. Players don't like you. Organizations are tepid to make a move for you. I read a report. Oh, dear Lord, if this happens. I read a report saying that the Clippers might be interested. God, Ballmer's just intent on digging this hole deeper, huh? I mean, my goodness. If that happens, oh my gosh. Poverty franchise if you ever seen one. But it's nothing about this is surprising in any way, shape, or form. So if you're Memphis, honestly, you whatever the best package is, you get what you can. You get what you can. If you got to trade Ja within the West, who cares? He's not going to beat you in the playoffs for years to come. And it's not like Memphis is a well-run organization to begin with, but this has been the biggest headache that you've had over the last 7 years. And just about all the problems you've had in your franchise, 85-90% have stemmed from number 12. That's just the reality of it. So I'm shocked they haven't done it sooner, to be frank. And I think The only question about whether he'll get dealt or not is whether other teams of note will want to make a move for him. Injury history, bad defensive player, average at best shooter, and an off-court distraction, and kind of a jerk. Doesn't sound like an attractive trade asset if you ask me. Thanks so much for watching the show on YouTube, and be sure to go click that big red subscribe button and check out the other clips and full shows from Carving It Up Live, as well as our other incredible content creators here on the Grid Network.